What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. One of the most interesting suggestions for a What If that I've seen so far were people asking me to make one about Goten being born first instead of Gohan, or the two being born together, or if Goten was born earlier, or whatever, things like that. A lot of you wanted to see Goten be brought into the story much earlier than he was, so I think I have a good way to do this. While it not changed too much at first, I think this What If will make for a pretty interesting scenario in this part and even more so as it ends up continuing. In this video, we'll be looking at what might have happened if Gohan and Goten were born as twins. However, we're not going to make them look the exact same. Instead, we're just going to say that the two hybrid Saiyans are fraternal twins, which, if I got my terminology right, means that they're twins but they're not identical. It's actually more common than you'd think when it comes to twins being born. Not all pairs of twins are actually going to look identical. This is mainly to distinguish the two in terms of physical appearance, so you won't just be seeing two Gohans running around on screen or whatever. After the events of Dragon Ball, Goku and Chi-Chi end up settling down, and instead of having one kid, Chi-Chi instead gives birth to twins, which they name Gohan and Goten. And for those of you that may ask, Gohan is born first, so he's technically the older brother, even if it's only by a few minutes, but that doesn't really matter. I just wanted to say that in case someone was wondering. The two are raised pretty similarly, with Chi-Chi's main focus being to make them smart. This ends up changing Goten a little bit, since he's raised a little differently than how he was raised in the original. But also, Gohan ends up growing up in a different environment, since he basically has a best friend now that he's really close to, that being Goten. The two of them are raised the same in terms of education, but Gohan is actually a little different since he's not a shy kid anymore. Now he has someone his age that he spends most of his time with, so he's kind of reserved and introverted like he originally is, but not nearly as much as normal. Goten is kind of like how he is normally, being more extroverted and fun-seeking. The two complement each other pretty well in this regard. They're like two sides of the same coin. Chi-Chi, having to take care of the two kids now, wants them to both grow up to be scholars, so she takes their education very seriously, but the two obviously enjoy playing together and such, so they occasionally would have free time, and sometimes end up being with Goku, who would end up showing them basic martial arts. They're not going to be expert fighters, obviously, I mean, they're only kids, but Goku wants to start them out early since they could definitely have the potential to be really strong. And this gives them something productive to do in their free time that will ultimately be good for them in the future. They're only 4 before the reunion at Kame House, so it's not like they're going to do any intense training, but they've actually begun sparring lightly together now that they're old enough to have more coordinated movements and such. They're not insanely strong, and they only have a power level of about 10 each, which is weak, but that's already greater than the average human probably would have, which is interesting for Goku to see, and it's way greater than someone like Gohan had in the original story. Another interesting point is that they both have tails, which isn't important for Gohan, but that's obviously a huge change for Goten since he wasn't actually born with one in the original story. As normal, a reunion is planned at Kame House, which Goku ends up going to with his 2 sons. Much to everyone's surprise, Goku not only shows up with 1 kid, but 2, both of whom were the same age and with one of them actually looking exactly like Goku. It was odd for them to see Goku with 1 kid before, but seeing him with 2 kids now surprises them even more. A bit farther away, a ship lands on a farmer's property, with Raddatz emerging from it, who then proceeds to fly towards the first high power level he senses, that being Piccolo. They have pretty much the same interaction, with Raddatz realizing that he picked up on the wrong power level, and then he eventually ends up detecting another power level and going off to find it to see if it's Kakarot, which of course that is him. Back at Kame House, the group is having a nice time seeing each other again since it's been a while since they've reunited, until an unexpected visitor arrives and interrupts the festivities, Raddatz. Not only is he shocked to see his brother alive and being a good-hearted person, but he has 2 children now. Not only have you become soft, Kakarot, but you've been getting busy! At least that means you've helped expand the Saiyan race. Goku has no idea what Raddatz is talking about, and Raddatz realizes this, so he then ends up filling Goku in on his history and such. Raddatz begins to threaten Goku to do what he wants, asking him to either join them or kill 100 people by tomorrow, or have the planet be destroyed. And for an incentive for Goku to come and find him, he ends up kidnapping Goten. While Goku regains his strength, Piccolo comes over like normal after seeing what happened, and the two of them team up to get Raddatz, with Gohan actually wanting to join because he's angered by Raddatz doing this to his father and then kidnapping his brother. While the group sees this as not being safe for him, Goku decides to take him anyways since Goku's pretty naive like that, and it would be a good experience for Gohan since he obviously wants to go, and it will give him some nice insight of what fighting is really like. For extra power, Krillin actually decides to join in as well so they can have strength in numbers. And they know Raddatz is way stronger than them, so Krillin wants to help this time, just to make sure Gohan is safe, since Goku and Piccolo will be busy with Raddatz and Gohan will probably need someone watching him just in case. And if they end up actually needing Krillin, he'll step up to the plate and help them. The four of them end up heading over to where Raddatz is, finding Goten trapped inside of Raddatz's pod, who's obviously pretty happy to see everyone come there to save him. Goku, Piccolo, and Raddatz begin fighting as normal, with Gohan, Goten, and Krillin watching on. While Raddatz is distracted by the fight, Krillin and Gohan take the opportunity and they rush to the pod to free Goten, but Raddatz notices this and then he fires a blast at the group of them. Goku reacts quick and jumps in front of the blast to protect the group, which badly injures him. His arm took the brunt of that blast, so now it's badly hurt and broken, but he's still able to fight, even though he's nowhere close to Raddatz's power level. And with this distraction of Raddatz being focused on the group and Goku, Piccolo actually takes this opportunity to go away and charge a special beam cannon as Goku tries to get up after taking that blast. The only bright side to this is that Goku actually gets a rage boost from seeing Raddatz try to kill his friend and his two sons, so he ends up fighting Raddatz with just one arm, and while it's a nice display of his persistence, it doesn't really do much other than distracting Raddatz from what Piccolo is doing. Raddatz ends up getting bored, and he punches Goku in the gut, sending him flying, before he walks over to him on the ground and prepares to kill him. But out of nowhere, Raddatz feels two objects collide with his chest, and looks down to see Gohan and Goten. The two were angered by Raddatz's actions, and they both had temporary boosts in power, kinda like Gohan did in the original, and this actually allows the two of them to charge towards Raddatz and injure him. And since it's two of them this time, they do a lot more damage. He's knocked far back, and he actually falls to the ground, and angrily picks himself up and charges a double sundae aimed at Goku, Krillin, and the two unconscious kids. He's really angry now and wants to take everyone out. But in that moment, he realizes that the group is one person short, one green person. The Namekian is gone, and before he could even fire the blast, a beam of light pierces through his chest, putting him out of commission. Piccolo has successfully charged the special beam cannon from far away, and hit him with it, and he ended up killing Raddatz easily. Raddatz was way too distracted to notice this, and at the last moment when he realized that Piccolo was gone, it was already too late for him. Raddatz is defeated, and Goku ends up living this time, with Raddatz telling them that the other Saiyans would arrive in a year's time to end up finishing the job and get Kakarot to come with them, or kill him and destroy the planet. Goku looks at his dying brother in pity as he begins to get back up, and he watches Raddatz slowly bleed out and finally end up dying. While they're now faced with the threat of the Saiyans coming in the future, they're at least happy that all of the group survived and no one actually got injured, and Earth also isn't destroyed by Raddatz right now. The group ends up heading back to Kame House as they let Goku rest, eventually retrieving a Senzu bean for him to fully heal. Piccolo is present with the group and tells everyone what's going on, and how the Saiyans will arrive in a year's time to end up killing Goku and destroying the planet. I debated whether or not they would still try to come, since they don't know about the Dragon Balls right now, but I feel that hearing Goku's group defeated Raddatz would be enough for Vegeta and Nappa to want to kill Goku as revenge, since they know he's still alive. And they could potentially come for his two hybrid sons. Goku, along with Gohan and Goten, return to Chi-Chi where she's filled in on what happened, and although she's reluctant at first to let them train, once she hears that Raddatz tried to hurt her kids, she's more than happy to let the kids train since she doesn't want these Saiyans hurting them again. If anything, she's fired up now because she wants revenge against them, and it would be great if her sons were able to do that and protect themselves. The 1-year training begins. After seeing their latent power against Raddatz, Goku and Piccolo both want to train the kids to make them stronger. Piccolo is frustrated with Goku's training methods and tries to instill a lot of his own methods within the kids, and the two end up working together to train the kids now to prepare against the Saiyans. While Piccolo is pretty harsh, the kids have Goku around now to make the training a lot smoother and not feel as harsh. While Piccolo doesn't like how soft Goku is, he deals with it since they need to cooperate to fight the Saiyans. As part of the training, Piccolo ends up convincing Goku to leave the two kids in the wilderness to fend for themselves, while Goku and Piccolo go on by themselves to train since they're at a similar power. While it's a scary adjustment at first for Gohan and Goten, they end up getting used to it a lot quicker, and since they're at least together with each other, they're not too scared about being left alone in the wild. They end up getting the hang of it a lot easier than Gohan did, and adjust to living alone in only a couple of days. The two spend a lot of time sparring as well, with the little techniques that they've learned from Goku and Piccolo so far. Eventually, Goku and Piccolo see their progress and how they've adjusted, and now that the kids are independent and can fend for themselves, they take the kids back for more training after about a few months' time. Goku and Piccolo would either train together or with the two kids, or sometimes switch off. And this allows the kids to have the lighter, more martial arts oriented training from Goku, as well as the harsher, power increasing training from Piccolo. They end up learning a lot of different techniques as well. They can sense and suppress power, use ki blasts, and do things such as the Masenko, Kamehameha, Solar Flare, and other techniques from both Goku and Piccolo. On other occasions, Goku and Piccolo go train by themselves as Gohan and Goten do the same, now that they're powered up, and they learn to fight together with great synergy and try to come up with some combo moves too. After a few more months of training, the group see it as a good idea to meet up with Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu to try and train with them as well, all of whom have spent most of their time training on the lookout. Kami welcomes the group on the lookout with a somewhat weird interaction with Piccolo, but the two showing a mutual respect. He could sense that Piccolo's kind of changed since he last saw him, and now he's a lot more friendly as a demon can be. They still don't know about the Namekians yet and that they're part of that group. Now that they have more people together, the training becomes a lot more effective as the humans can train with Gohan and Goten now and get stronger with Goku and Piccolo. With that, I think it's a good spot to leave off for now. How will the training go now that Goku is alive and Goten is present? How will the group deal with the Saiyans? Let me know in the comments below. And as usual, leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe as well as hitting the bell icon to support the channel and be notified of the rest of this What If and other videos of mine in the future. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next part.